Hi there. Today I am going to be walking through how to structure and build a website for a landscaping company in 2024. So, in case you're wondering who I am, I've been building websites for over a decade now. And when I started, I always wished that somebody had just gone through and walked me through, hey, this is how you build and structure a website. Here's where here's what you write in all these different places. Here's the colors you use, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Hopefully, it will help you put together your own website. And if you need help putting together a website, definitely let me know. We can help you out. So let's get started here. So the whole point of a website is to drive traffic. Obviously there's some informational piece to it as well, but the main thing is just to drive traffic all the way through to our contact us page. For a landscaping company, that's mainly what you're trying to do here, right? So you're trying to get them to contact you, become an engaged lead, and hopefully, you can win their business. So the whole goal of the template that we'll be walking through today is a super simple 5-page template. Well, a little bit more depending on how many services you have, but it's super simple. You can put this together yourself in maybe a couple hours, and you're going to have a really nice looking professional website that will hopefully get more people to buy your stuff and make you more money. So let's get started. You start on the home page. There's a pretty specific format that we'll go over in a little bit, but your home page is going to have kind of an overview of the whole rest of your site, and from there you're going to have links out to a couple different pages. So the first one, you'll have a page that just describes your company. Hopefully you can get a nice picture of you and your team, throw this on there. Also talks about your company mission, things like that. Second page is going to be your gallery page. So this is just going to be as many nice pictures as you can find of some of your previous jobs. And this is something, especially for a landscaping website, that is extremely important, is that you get high quality photos. So if you or a friend or a partner or whatever has a nice camera and is good, decently good at photography, please enlist them to help you take nice pictures of some of your work. Otherwise, it's really worth the investment to just hire a professional photographer for a few hours of work to have them run out to different job sites and take really nice pictures of what you're doing, because it makes a huge difference. And we'll see that in a little bit. One of the example website that we're building for a client right now, we're still waiting on nice pictures, and you can tell just from some of the initial pictures they sent us, it will make a big difference once we can get the nicer ones in there. So anyway, there's services and your service descriptions. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll also be going over an example. This is a website we're currently building for one of our clients, and we're going to use this as our template that you'll be able to kind of refer back to. So let's go ahead and get started with the home page. So the home page design, we're going to start with a hero section, is what this is called. So this is this section at the top here. It's got a nice background image, title, subtitle, and a CTA, or a call to action, to get to the contact form. So the contents here, you can play around with this. This is when you start to get into SEO and all this other stuff. But for now, just do your best with these. These are not super important to get started with. So that's your hero section. Here's how you want to set it up. The next one that we'll go into is what I call the subtitle section. So that's just a subtitle, just giving a blurb about your company, your history, very quick, the services you do, an image, and then a link to your About Us page. Going from there, you'll go into your services section. So this is how I like to build service sections typically, is I'll just have these little image panels here that look nice. But you can see, it just gives a high level overview of the 3 different main groups of services that this landscaping company offers: design and build, gardening, lawn maintenance, and then a link to their overall services page. After that, it's typically a good idea to have some section for social proof. So you can embed like a link to your Google reviews, your Google My Business profile. You can just grab some testimonials from previous customers, But it's really helpful to have a section in here for some of your previous work that you did. In this case, this client did not want that section to start with, so we'll add that later on probably, but for now we'll just skip that. The next is a gallery section. So you can see here we just have a nice gallery where you can scroll through, see different previous images of their work, and then a link to their portfolio page. An areas of service section is helpful, so that way this is just a nice way to be able to show where the company works out of, but also you can list a whole bunch of individual towns, boroughs, cities, whatever in the area that you serve. That way people can get a good idea of whether or not you serve them, and it can also help from an SEO perspective. If somebody's looking for an Ada landscaper rather than a Grand Rapids landscaper, something like that. You don't need the see all areas page. This client wanted it. You can just link this to your contact page or something like that. Lastly, this client has a call to action to apply to join their team. We can show you what that page looks like, but you probably don't need that to start with. So, and then finally, we just have a CTA banner here at the bottom. So this banner is what we're going to be putting on almost every page at the bottom, because again, we kind of want to think about our website as each page is like a funnel down to your call to action. So one more small kind of design thing, we'll go over a couple of tricks here for how to make these pages look nice. Again, one thing that I struggled with a lot when I was first getting started building websites is I would look at a website and I would try to build something that looked like it, and it would just not look nice. Like it seemed like all the stuff was there, but it wouldn't end up looking nice. So I'll talk about a couple quick things real quick, a little kind of tips and tricks for you. So the first thing to notice, each of these different sections that we have built here that we just talked about, we alternate the background of these sections as having this very light gray color or a white color. And what this does is this just helps to break up the information a little bit, and it's pretty subtle. You probably didn't even notice it the first time we were scrolling through, but it just helps to break up the page nicely here. So that's something that is a nice, helpful little trick. Otherwise, this would all just be one background and it looks kind of weird. There's no separation. So that's one thing. The other thing is when you're building these hero sections, there's a trick to getting this text to actually be readable sitting on top of a nice image. And the trick is to just change the opacity of this background image so that your text is actually readable. I'm going to put that in, I'm going to put a link below to a PDF that you can download that has all of these details. So I'll include some of the specific details of how to do that piece, but in case you're doing this yourself and you're trying to do this, that's why some of these elements might not look quite as nice as this does. Okay, that's the homepage layout. That's how that works. Let's quickly go over to the About Us page, and we'll do the same kind of thing here. So you can see here some of these images. These are all placeholder images. We'll be replacing this once we can get some nicer images. But so yeah, same kind of thing, similar pattern as what we just talked about, but there's going to be a hero section here at the top. We'll just do a block for the history of the company, a mission statement, a vision section, and then again ending with that CTA. So very similar pattern to what we just talked about. Let's hop up to the gallery and just show you that quick. So with the gallery, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a grid of images that you can scroll down. You can see in this one, we have a nice little fade in effect when you scroll over the images, but it's just a whole bunch of pictures. Again, a lot of this right now is just placeholder images for the specific client, but okay, so that's the gallery. Not much there, just a place to give people an idea of the type of work that you've done, and to just kind of give some proof that hey, you're a real business and you do real work, all that kind of stuff. So, and then you end with a CTA on the gallery as well. So let's go back to the home page and let's talk about the services quick. So another thing that you'll sometimes see when you're looking at other people's websites, or maybe if you're trying to build one yourself, it can be very hard to follow what they're trying to do, or like how they're presenting, their services or their information. So having a very simple structure like this is also just a great way to help communicate what you're trying to communicate to potential clients, because it's very easy to navigate through this site structure. It's very simple. It's just a little tree. It's not like feeding all into each other and going all over the place, which is a lot of times what you'll see when somebody tries to build their own website. So let's quickly just go look at the services page, and we'll go over this structure as well. So again, we have our hero section. On this page, we have what's called, at least what we call a differentiator section. So it's just a block of text that says like what sets you apart, gives a little blurb about your team, all that kind of stuff. And then from here, we just have different cards that describe our different services. So each card will have a title, a subtitle, a description, and then a call to action, which will link to an individual service page. So in this case, we've got design and build, gardening, lawn maintenance, irrigation, and lighting. And each of these have their own sub-page that describes more information about the service. And then again, finish it off with a call to action. So let's just quickly look at design and build. So this is going to be the final page that we'll talk about here, before we talk about the contact here. But in this case, again, we've got our hero image, we've got a differentiator section, and then on this page, we're going to have a how it works section. So just a very quick, 1, 2, 3, what would they expect once they click on the CTA button, right? So this is where you can let them know, in this case, you're going to talk to a design professional, you're going to sit down and review a design after it's happened, and then, schedule your job. After that, this is optional depending on, your line of business in your company, but it's nice to have some kind of an authority section, certifications, awards, background, whatever. But some claim to authority that, gives your potential customers some confidence in your abilities. And then from there, again, another optional section, but components is helpful. So in this case, hardscapes, plantings, drainage, water features. In this case, the client actually wanted individual pages built out for this. So very similar pattern to what we just looked at. And again, ending with the CTA. So all of that is fairly self-explanatory. Again, I'll have a link to download a PDF that has all of this information written out in detail, so you can use it more as a resource. So let's quickly look at the final piece of this, which is the Contact Us page. So again, following our same pattern, we've got a hero section. We've got a what to expect, so you can give a call. There's a link to call them directly, or there's a contact form below. You can use a standard contact form if you're using a web builder, but I really, really recommend setting up a CRM system. In this case, this client uses Jobber, which is what I recommend to everybody. It's a really great product, but embed your CRM form here. That way it will just keep your leads organized, keep your business running efficiently. And yeah, that is the quick overview of how to put together your website. And again, if you are interested, you want to get a new website, like I said, we also build websites for clients. We can help review your current website, or we can build you a new one. We actually have a July 4th sale going on for the whole month of July right now. So if you want a website that is designed similar to this, and it's that same 5-step structure that we just talked about, we're actually offering this same setup of website for $500 right now through the end of July. So there's only like a week left or so on that sale. So if you're interested, reach out. Typically for us to build a site like this, it's between $5,000 and $10,000, depending on some of the details. So we're patriotic here at GrowthForge. So yeah, you can get this whole website for $500 through the end of July if you're interested. So yeah, feel free to connect using the form below, and we will talk with you soon.